Hey, it's me, Vance Dykes, owner and operator of the Ventriloquist Vance channel and the Vance Dykes channel, which is named after me, obviously. I had to make this video very quick because I was just on my way home. I'm in the driveway of my house now, and I was just listening to the radio. I was listening to the Dana Lash Show, and she was telling about the governor of Virginia, who says that, it's okay for a woman and a doctor to kill a child after it's been born. This is another abortion thing, but this is like, I don't remember all the details, and I don't understand all the medical terminology, all that stuff that makes everyone sound so smart. But you know what? Basically, I'm not dumb enough to not see that this is murder. Basically, the governor of Virginia, I don't know what her name is, but obviously it's a woman, obviously a radical feminist. And by the way, radical feminism is evil. Radical feminism, they're feminists who like to say that they are fighting for the rights of women, but what they're really doing is they're trying to fight for I'm trying to figure out the right words to say it, but basically, from what I've seen, radical feminism is all about making women the supreme gender, because throughout history, men have treated women with such disrespect, always making them seem like they are the inferior gender, and with that, radical feminists are basically trying to get their revenge on the male gender. They always go around saying that men are a disease, that men are evil, and that men are sexual pigs and all that other stuff. And it's just not fair. And, this basically one of the things that they use is abortion. They use the topic of abortion as one of their main weapons to try and get their point across that, because feminists are always saying, at least radical feminists are always saying that, abortion is all about a woman's right to choose what she can and cannot do with her own body. And, basically they always accuse anyone who is pro-life of being male chauvinist or sexist, who are just trying to control the female gender. If you watch the Roseanne show, Roseanne Barr, Roseanne, the Connors, Dan Connor, John Goodman, when you get into the show, you see what messed up ideologies that Roseanne has. And one of them is that, she thinks that when men are trying to say no to abortion, that it's just basically men trying to take control of women, that, they're trying to enslave women. That's not what it's all about. We are not all about people who are pro-life. We are not trying to oppress women and take away their God-given rights to do what they want to do with their own body. But what we're just trying to say is that we believe in the sanctity of life, and this, not just this, but I think it was the mayor of New York, basically whoever's in charge of New York, basically it's now legal in New York to have an abortion up until the moment when you're about ready to give birth. And this is just, I am truly at a loss for words. I can't understand why people think the way that they think. How is it okay to kill a living being or a potential living being? I mean, who are you to make that decision? Who gets to live and who gets to die? Who gets to be born into the world? Who doesn't get to be born into the world? Who do you think you are making decisions like that? It is not your choice. I don't want to hear any of this nonsense of, oh, you're just a male chauvinist, you're sexist, you're trying to take away women's rights to choose. No, that's not what it's all about. And personally, I think if there's any area in life where women don't have a right to choose, it's who gets to live and who gets to die. And basically, you made the choice. I mean, you are smart enough to know that if you make the conscious decision to have sex, the guy does it consciously without a condom, or the woman does it consciously without birth control pills or whatever, if you make the choice to have unprotected sex with your partner, you should know already that, when a man and a woman have sex, chances are the woman's gonna get pregnant. Everyone knows that. It's one of the things, regardless of how much we may not have paid attention in biology class or science class, regardless of how science wasn't really our bag, we could never understand science. We could understand enough science to know that when a man and a woman have sex, chances are you're going to get pregnant. It's just common sense, common logic. And you want to know something? If you don't want to have a kid, well then, what's wrong with adoption? That's one thing that I always say in my pro-life videos, is that, if your reason for wanting to get an abortion is that you feel like you can't take care of that child, well, what about adoption? Why can't you just take the route to adoption? Why can't you just try and why don't you put the child up for adoption? Why not do that? I don't understand people's thinking. I don't understand. As far as I'm concerned, that just shows how evil people can be. People are so evil that they think that it's okay to kill a living child, whether if it's born or not. And them making the decisions for themselves, okay, it doesn't matter if this child in the mother's womb, it doesn't matter if it's potentially living. It means nothing. We should just get rid of it. So we are living in a very dark time right now, and I hear people say that we're getting closer and closer to the end times because of all the evil that's going on in the world right now, and one of them being that, you got all these politicians in New York and Virginia who say that it's okay to have an abortion up until the time you give birth, and even after you give birth, that it's okay to kill the child. It's okay to destroy the living child after it's born. It's just, radical feminism is evil. Radical feminism does not care about equality toward the sex, and it doesn't care about other women and their rights. It cares about, it's just another political weapon that corrupt politicians use to try and assert their authority over people, taking away our God-given right. Everyone wants to talk about how, abortion is all about, people having the right to choose what to do with their own body, when the reality is that, abortion is just another political tool. It's another political weapon that is used for corrupt politicians to take away our rights, whether if we're men or women, or whether we're Democrat or Republican, Christian, non-Christian, whatever. Abortion and radical feminism, they are just tools and weapons that are used so that corrupt politicians can assert their authority over all of us, take away our God-given rights, and thus the United States of America and everything that it was built upon, founded upon, it just ceases to exist. I am just so disappointed with the way how things are going in this country right now. It's just amazing. We really need to spend some time in prayer, ladies and gentlemen, and I pray that we will be A-okay, we'll be fine, and I gotta go now because my mother's watching me now. She's wondering what's going on, so just keep in mind what I say. I'll see you guys later. Keep this country in prayer. Goodbye and God bless.